My passion for bars and drinks started about 20 years ago while I was living and working in California. I was bartending at night whilst actually auditioning during the days, trying to crack it in the film industry there. Well, let's just say I'm a well-known bartender now. When I came back to Australia in 1997, there was a nice transformation of the cocktail scene, and Sydney really has undergone a nice evolution over the last decade. But now I think there's really a genuine quality to the restaurants and bars that we're seeing around. I think a lot of this is due to the relaxing of the licensing laws, the allowing for smaller budget kind of restaurants and bars to open, led and managed by owner-operators who are there very passionate and bringing all of their experience to a more discerning drinking and dining public. Well, I think it's changed the dynamic of what people expect when they go out to bars, for example. Traditionally, it was the big pub or the hotel bar. It didn't have an intimacy to it. I think people in Sydney now are enjoying a more relaxed drinking environment, something that's a little bit more quirky and doesn't have to be all polished, an environment that people actually enjoy being in. There's a few trends that we're seeing gaining momentum. Is this return to the classics. The bartenders are taking these classics and in a sense using those as the template or the recipe then to then be creative on top of that and giving it a contemporary twist. And there's also another school of thought where bartenders are using the freshest possible ingredients, catching them in those first few minutes after they're juicing. There's an amazing intensity of flavour. And certainly the drinks that come out of that are inspired by what chefs are doing and really preparing ingredients for a drink to have that ready to go into that cocktail right when it's needed. There's a lot of trends that are going on at the moment. All of them are converging here in Sydney and in bars around Australia where the bartenders today are creating world-class drinks. I began working with Neil Perry's Rockpool group in the late 90s and actually became inspired by the way Neil was using savoury flavours and Asian ingredients, and I realised that some of those flavours could be harnessed and brought into cocktails. But I like drinks that are fairly simple. One of my favourites would have to be the Daiquiri. When made beautifully, it's sublime. The Daiquiri, of course, is a drink that we can use variations on, adding fresh fruits, and actually I'm going to make a nice little twist on a frozen Daiquiri for you in a minute. We're going to start off with some fresh mangoes. So really just to get a nice plump mango from your local grocer, and we're just going to cut off one whole cheek. I'm actually making enough for 2 drinks here. So quite simply, it's just a matter of scooping that cheek right into the blender. I'm also going to add my double shot of the white rum. This is a very flavorful, aromatic, barrel-aged white rum. Coconut water is a great ingredient. You can get it straight out of fresh drinking coconuts. Pour in a double measure of the coconut water. To that, I'm also going to add the juice of 1 whole lime, giving that a squeeze with a hand press. Okay, also going to add a little bit of fresh mint just to give it some nice summery fresh flavours. Just pick off about 4 mint leaves for each drink. Now I'm going to add some ice. It's important to use a blade system that goes all the way to the edge. This creates a whipping action inside the blender and actually helps to draw the ingredients from the top down. This prevents ingredients from getting trapped down there and actually minimize lumpiness. This is going to give you a very smooth and creamy cocktail. Another nice feature about the blender is that it can crush rock ice and it makes the drink stay colder longer. We've actually crushed up some of that hard ice here and it's actually done it no problems. Okay, about 30 seconds should be enough time to get that fully blended and with a beautiful consistency. Just ready to pour those in. And there we have a gorgeous summery cocktail, mango and coconut daiquiri. Enjoy. Okay, now I'm going to make for you a really delicious, refreshing, summery mocktail or non-alcoholic cocktail. We're going to use some fresh Granny Smith apples, some cucumber and some mint, and I'm going to put that through the juicer. So if you don't have time to cut up the apple or your ingredients, you can actually put a whole apple right into the juicer. Just pour in about half a glass of this gorgeous apple and cucumber and mint juice. Okay, we're just going to add a little bit of this elderflower cordial. This is something that you can find in any grocer or delicatessen, but it's just a gorgeous, subtly sweet and a little bit acidic ingredient that's going to add a nice element of complexity and flavour to this delicious drink. So I'm just going to top that with some ice. I'm just going to add a little spritz of some soda or mineral water. Now you can garnish that with a nice little slice of cucumber, or you can add a mint sprig or a nice piece of apple. But there we have the elderflower, cucumber and apple mocktail. Enjoy.